Yes, hello tradies. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 26. On one hand, I apologise for the late drop. On the other hand, it's given us a chance to talk about a couple of big stories. We're here for the great people at St Andrews Beach Brewery at Melbourne Park. It's the only place to be before a game at the G this finals series. Hello, Mitchell. On this
Sam.
Chilly, wet Tuesday evening.
What are those big stories you talk of?
Let me see. Geez, I'm glad I'm not on social media.
I got enough in my inbox asking to ask you on the pod, so I'm glad this timing has worked out because Harley Reid has re-signed with the West Coast Eagles until 2028. So he had a year to run until 26. He's had 2 years on the end of that, and he is sticking around. So that is great news for the Eagles. And
one of our super producers at Footy Classified, Connor, messaged me a screenshot today. Is it trending in Australia? Harley Reid, trending in Australia, Sam McClure.
Not far off what I saw.
And then apparently people are trying to make up. I tell you what, Cinch Footy are doing a good job of trying to get me not to steal their admin.
So give us the background there for those that don't know what Cinch Footy is.
Well, they claim to that. What
Cinch Footy is an Instagram, social media juggernaut.
He's not re-signing, so they've made up a quote.
Well, I actually got sent something from another account that you said.
I never said he wasn't. I never had any
2nd
comment.
of April, he's not re-signing at West Coast on this show.
I never said that.
We need to go back and find it.
Well, we need to go back and find it. Did I say that? I don't think I said it.
What's your initial reaction that he's signed on?
Oh, yeah, I'm not that surprised. Are you? Like, he clearly had a good look around and clubs had a good look at him.
Yeah, if you had asked me in April, I thought it'd be it would have to move quick to get to where we are now. I thought he would have waited for a bit of next year as well.
Is it because, like, we talked about this a few times, but like, has his form not dictated that a couple of the big Melbourne clubs have not just thrown the absolute kitchen sink? Has it been a bit like that, do you think?
Maybe the real high-end
Yeah.
stuff, but I think there was still some pretty significant offers there for him.
Yep.
Saints, Bombers came hard.
Yep.
Cats were around the mark.
Hawks,
yeah.
Yep.
Richmond would have had a crack too.
It's a good news story for the West Coast Eagles.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But again, without putting a dampener on a very good day for the Eagles, like their captain's going.
Yep, who hasn't played it all year.
They're not getting better next year.
They're getting pick 2 for him.
Yeah, but they're not getting better next year, are they?
They're getting worse.
Well, they're losing.
They're getting Allen, who didn't play this year. Liam Ryan's requested a trade.
Yeah.
So my understanding with Liam Ryan
those two guys, I know they haven't played much footy, but those two guys leaving can't make them better.
No, but they get pick 2. They get pick 1 and most likely pick 2.
They're not going to do much in 2026, are they?
Not necessarily, but I don't think Oscar Allen can really be accounted for them going backwards in 2026.
No, probably not. But he's captain.
So it was put to me today that Liam Ryan read the writing on the wall that if Harley left, he was no chance to be let go as well because Liam Ryan's contracted. He's got a year to run on his deal for next year. So it was if Harley goes, no point me even asking. So Harley signed. Then moments later we get the release.
10 minutes later, it's okay. Well, I'm actually leaving.
So it's all signs point towards St Kilda for Liam Ryan, which would be a huge coup for them.
Yeah.
To add to that forward on. If they can get Max King back on the park to go with Naz, the signing there, Leclerc, sort of decision to be made on what happens with Rowan Marshall.
Sounds like he's going to Geelong.
Well,
no.
If you were to fast forward right now to mid-October, end of trade period, that's where I think it will most likely land. I think there's still a lot to happen there.
Yep. So Koning goes from the Blues to the Saints. Marshall potentially goes from the Saints to the Cats. And maybe Ned Reeves ends up at Carlton.
Wouldn't shock
the
me.
ruck merry-go-round kind of lands?
Yep. So on Harley, there was initial talks on a 2 plus a 9 year deal. And I believe that was sort of in the first week of July that was first floated from the Connor Sports stable of Nick Gason, who's Harley's manager, put to the Eagles. And now we've fast forwarded to the end of August and he's signed, so basically 8 weeks later. But I think so that's dropped off now. So the 9 years is been left in the rearview mirror. It's just he's signed for a flat 2, no 9 on the end. And I think the Naz stuff from last week actually helped put it in Harley's mind and his management's mind that they were comfortable going with what Naz did, and that sort of set the path a little bit for Harley. The other thing too is 2 plus 9 would have taken him to the age of 31. It's sort of, and we've spoken about this before, but Bont coming out, it's an awkward time to come out.
Yeah.
So if Harley, he'll be 23 at the end of this deal, it gives him time to go again until his free agency year. And then at free agency, he could go from 26 years of age to potentially a 7 or 8 year deal for 33 and 34. Players are always worried and managers are always worried about what it looks like 31, 32, 33 years of age, getting those, coming out of contract then and then having to sign again. Whereas if, look at De Koning, as you reported last night, 8 year deal, take him to the end of 34. So he doesn't have to think about what coming out of contract looks like at 32, 33.
Question without notice, and I'll put up my hand. I simply haven't had the time to put in the calls to ask these questions. But it's a 2-year extension, so Harley's got 3 more years left at West Coast.
Yep.
I don't know if you know the answer. What's your best guess as to what he's earning per year on average with those 3?
So the 3rd year, so he's into a year 2?
No, I understand, but like they would have restructured the deal, you would think.
Well, he's capped on his initial draft contract for next year.
Does that mean, but even in the TPP, he's not allowed to be paid more than that? Or
that's
can
a good question.
Or if they give him an extension, can they actually rework the 3rd year of the initial deal?
Or
I should know the answer to that question, but I'm asking you.
I go back to Tom Boyd when he came to the Bulldogs.
Yep.
He's spent 1 year at the Giants, and then his 2nd year was at the Dogs.
Yeah, and his 3rd year is earning $1 million.
Yeah, so he was on.
Okay, so I'll ask the question
So
in
my
a different way.
understanding is it's capped. So Logan Morris this year.
Okay,
it's
so
capped at that.
let's say it's capped. I'll ask you about the extension then.
Just on that, so it's about $500,000 or $600,000 max he'll be able to earn next year.
Yep. So cancel that one.
Yep.
What do you think he's earning years 4 and 5?
Between 1.8 and $2 million per season.
It's a lot of money. I mean, it's not a lot of money because
It's not a lot of money for
West Coast don't have any good players, so they
Who
have to
else
pay
are they
someone.
paying?
That's right. They have to pay someone.
And what's
But he
What's the-
hasn't shown enough. He hasn't shown enough to be paid that sort of money, in my opinion. Now at West Coast, yes, but I'm saying in the open market compared to others, like that's Nick Dacos, Sam Darcy money.
But then you also look at it from West Coast point of view. They've got value out of, let's say he's probably playing like an $800,000 player this year, and he's probably on 250, 300.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that.
You take a hit in years 4 and 5 for the marketing, for the image of the club.
Sorry, just to be clear, I'm in no way saying that. Like, it's fine for West Coast, great for West Coast, all good. I'm simply saying, at the end of, and yes, I am slightly impacted by what Nick Dacos has been able to do, but at the end of his 2nd year, I thought Harley would be slightly further progressed, playing wise. Having said that, he's gone into an environment at West Coast that's very different to the environment that Nick Dacos went into at Collingwood.
Yeah.
So Take that all with a grain of salt.
Yep. I think you'll see a different Harley in year 3.
Do you?
I think he'll have learnt a lot about being an AFL footballer.
Okay.
I think if you got Harley in the cold hard light of day, that he would admit that his preseason of the year just gone wasn't up to AFL standard.
Well, he's a young man.
Yeah.
It's completely fair enough.
But he would have learned a lot about himself.
Can I talk about De Koning?
Yep.
So I think if you look at it from each club's perspective, you can understand what has happened. So St Kilda, on one hand, will be criticised heavily for paying a bloke of De Koning's ilk the money that they're going to pay him, because he really hasn't proven enough so far, has he? Anyway, we'll come back to that.
His first 10 weeks this year were very good.
Very good. Yeah, all Australian conversation. From Carlton's perspective, you can understand that, well, we can't really pay him 1.7 a stay.
Totally agree.
Happy to pay him $1 million. But having said that, he walks out the door for, a mid-range first rounder. Doesn't feel great. So from both clubs, what I'm saying is, if you look at both the club he's leaving and the club he's going to, I can see the positives and the negatives, right? For St Kilda, in order for Tom to properly justify a large portion of the money that he's going to be paid over that contract, he essentially has to become at least 80% of what Max Gawn has.
I agree.
Okay. Now, that very person at the start of this year, at the Captain's Day, said that he thought Tom De Koning could be the best player in the competition. Mm-hmm. Could be. I stress, could be. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a comparison. So De Koning taken in the 2017 draft. By the way, the amount of Carlton players that have ended up representing the navy blue that were taken before De Koning in that draft.
In the same draft?
Yeah, so Dow at 3. Chera went to Freo at 5. O'Brien at 10. They missed out on Ed Richards at 16, which just looked really
You've heard the story there? How he was late to his...
The story was late, yeah. I'm not sure how much I believe.
Story was late to his meeting at the Blues and might have put him on the back foot to take him.
And then Lockie Fogarty was taken at 22.
Yep.
TDK at 30 is a good pick for the Blues.
Mm-hmm.
You turn 26 in July. As you know, he's just played 100 games. How many Brownlow votes at TDK?
going to pluck a number.
Yeah, I know it's hard.
11.
1.
Sheesh.
Averages 13 disposals, less than 3 marks a game, 18 hitouts. And he's kicked 36 goals. Now,
36 goals from how many games?
100.
And I would dare say the first quarter of those 100, he was playing more as a forward than a ruck.
Maybe. Yeah, they're trying to ease him into it. So, the story I hear about one of the reasons people think De Konin's going to be good is that, Gawn's first half of his career wasn't great. Now,
Had the ACL?
It's partly true, but he was injured and he got pretty good a bit quicker than Tom did.
When was his first All-Australian, Max?
So
he's potentially
I reckon
becoming
it was his 6th year, but you have to quote me on that. Anyway,
it could be it could be an 8-timer by the end of this week.
So, how many Brownlow votes for Max Gawn by his 100th game, do you reckon?
7.
43.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
He got better. He got good a lot quicker than people gave him credit for, I reckon.
So Max was 24, about to turn 25 when he was his first All-Australian Blazer.
Yeah, okay. So Max right now, at the end of this season, total career-wise, he's averaging 16 disposals, and I said Tom was averaging 13. He's averaging 5 marks. Tom was less than 3. And he's averaging 33 hitouts, which is basically double the amount of hitouts at TDK. So he's got a long, long way to go. That's the positive for Carlton, I think. The negative for Carlton, Mitch, is the optics of what is happening in the build-up to this trade period from a cultural perspective. TDK, one of the most loved people at the club. Charlie Curnow, one of the most loved people at the club, desperately trying to get out.
Desperately?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you look around for this long and tell your management for this long that you want to go unless you want to go. And Jack Silvani made it pretty clear to those around him a couple of months ago that he'd played his last game.
Mm.
He walks into the club today and walks out and he's gone.
So for those that missed it, officially told the Blues today being Tuesday that he wants out and yet to pick a club. I think the Dogs are still in it.
I think the Dogs are still in it too.
Yeah, well and truly.
They are 3 guys in the prime of their careers.
Yeah.
Not in the
That's
twilights.
a big factor for me.
In the prime of their careers, Mitch, that are walking out. And what? Sorry, 2 of them walking out. Curnow, we don't know. And why, Mitch? So I just think, I feel for Graham Wright because he's kind of come into this shitstorm. But
he has been there for 9 months.
Yeah, it's not long. That's not long.
But it's not like he's just rocked up yesterday.
No, but it's not long. And he's only just started as CEO.
Yeah.
This is a club who will try to tell you that they are stable. Don't let anyone fool you. This is a club in disarray.
Yeah.
And there's no way that you can somehow spin losing De Koning and Silvani and potentially Curnow as some sort of weird positive.
Mm.
In no world does that make sense. It's actually quite remarkable when you think about it.
And they had offers to both Silvani and TDK.
Yeah, again, I feel for them with TDK because of the money stuff. But let's be honest about this.
If they were top 4, would he have entertained it?
Mate, if they were top 9, like if they were vaguely competitive towards September, there's no way he'd be looking to go to St Kilda.
But he was sort of half looking before the year started.
Well, he looked around a couple of years ago before he went to Sydney.
He met with Ross before the year started.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, they have their poor form is going to cost them good players leaving. That's the cut and dry of it. So clubs can say they concentrate on this and they want to stand for this and they want to be more like this and they want to do this in the community. It's a win-loss game.
So with Curnow, my read on this is he won't go and formally ask for a trade until he knows that something can get done. So he's left his manager.
I agree, which is the Connors D'Orazio way, really.
Yeah. The Petrarca thing probably got a bit big on him last year.
Yeah, well, I think Christian was off the leash.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Christian was going direct to people.
Mm.
Curnow's
Charlie
a
not
different
like
character. And the one thing I would say about Charlie is he's not going to be the guy, and not saying that Christian was like this year, but he's not the guy that will cause disruption to a playing group or a locker room next year. So while he might be sort of kicking the tires on a few options, he's not going to walk back in there next year and be difficult to handle.
I tend to agree.
Just on the De Koning deal, 8 years. So he'll turn 34 in July of the last year of that deal.
Good age, 34.
And as we know with free agency deals like the Buddy one, you can't manoeuvre them. They're locked in at that rate.
Yes.
So the money is the money, and you can't be bending that. That is locked in. Whereas a player like Clayton Oliver or Petrarca who re-signed with their club, that is manoeuvrable. You can move that.
And cancelable.
Yeah.
Terminatable.
Unless De Koning gets traded to another club, you can pick up the contract and move it to another club. But Gawn's not yet 34, and everyone in footy's talking about Gawn's body and concerns around his longevity.
Yep.
8 years is a long time to fast forward to, but what is De Koning's body going to look like in 8 years from now?
Well, that's an impossible question to answer, though, isn't it? Like that, those are the risks you take.
And is the need to keep Marshall around heightened because of the investment they've made in Tom to keep him as an 8-year asset? You know, if he's crash and bash as the number one ruck for 8 straight years, that is going to be huge. If you keep Marshall around for 2 or 3 years of that, it might lessen the load on Tom for a few years, which might prolong his career late.
Hey, pivoting quickly, All-Australian squad day. Every man and his dog wants to have a say on, who's unlucky and who should be in, and it's mind-numbing.
Did the All-Australian selectors go to the A-grade whiteboard first and then
they would have had
base
to
it from there?
They would have had to.
Yeah.
I saw a headline the other day saying why Luke Davies-Uniacke wasn't a true A-grader.
Just looking over, he's not up on yours.
Oh, no, he's not, but
he's paid like an A+.
That's because he plays for North. So All-Australian Day. So we'll do it through. Well, let's not do it in a boring way. Let's do it through the tradies lens.
Okay.
And now I deliberately hid this from you, didn't I? I said I wanted to talk All-Australian, but I didn't. So you couldn't do
You
couldn't do any prep.
I thought you were stuck in US Open. For those that have missed it, Sam's been
no one's missed it.
Commandeering the US Open.
Everyone's been watching Gem.
I did actually see a bit of it yesterday when Medvedev went on his dummy spit.
Well, you turned over to Gem.
Oh, I did my little TV at my desk. Got a flick over.
Well done. But at 7.
Yep.
You got a little TV on your desk.
What do you reckon? What does look at the roof? Do I?
Oh, I saw you look at your computer. Does everyone have a little TV on their desk, or is it just you?
Yeah, everyone's got one.
Every single person has a little TV on their desk at 7.
Xander and I sort of share one.
No wonder they got no money over at that joint. Everyone's got their own little TV.
TVs are cheap now.
Okay.
You can go into JB and get them for bugger all.
So I wanted to ask you.
Top of the range at 7, by the way. Go on.
Not getting involved in that. The All-Australian squad last year, the 40.
44 was it last year?
Was it?
It's 44 this year.
Sorry, 40. Sorry, 44. Sorry, 44.
We've gone from 40 to 44 just to make people feel better about themselves all of a sudden, haven't we?
It doesn't sound like us. How many of the 44, Mitch, moved clubs at the end of the season?
In the same year they were named in the 44?
Yes.
1.
That's the correct answer.
I knew it was going to be either 1, 0 or 2.
Do you know who it is?
Was Josh Battle in the 44?
No.
Barris. Was Barris?
No.
No, he wouldn't have played enough. Who?
Dan Houston.
Oh, yeah. It was in the team by the end? Did he make the team last year? He was a 2-timer by the end of the year.
Dan Houston was halfback flank. The other halfback flank was Dane Zorko.
Yeah.
So, my question to you, Mitchell. How many of the 44 this year will beat a new club at the end of the trade period?
And this is the left field thinking that's brought to you on Tradies.
So those for those of you who going for a walk or going for a drive, I'll quickly read out the teams from the names from alphabetical teams. So starting with Adelaide. So Dawson, my man Keane, Rankin, Thilthorpe, Worrell, Andrews, Bailey, Dunkley, McCluggage, Zorko, Dacos, Elliott, Brayshaw, Clark, Jackson, Sarong, Cameron, Holmes, Smith, Anderson, Collins, Ben King, Long, Rowell, Ash, Callahan, Tom Green, Taylor, Battle, Gunston, Gawn, Pickett, Butters, Georgiades, Floston, Naz, Grundy, Heaney, Bontempelli, Dale, Darcy, Liberatore, Richards. How many of the 44 are at different clubs at the end of the year? So let's save this and we'll come back to it at the end of the trade period.
There is only one potential I can see leaving from that list.
Who?
Jamie Elliott.
So what's your answer?
0.
Okay, I'm going to say 1 then.
Not Butters.
Ooh.
Or could be Butters.
So Bede's on the producing tonight. Nice little ad. Now that Naz is staying, I don't think Josh Carr can physically let him go. He's got a year to run on his deal. He'll be a restricted free agent next year in what will be, everyone says, a better draft next year.
You don't want to keep players who don't want to be there. Keep saying
Like
this.
my opinion with Curnow, is Butters going to be the guy? Is he going to be demonstrative around the locker room next year? Is he?
I see your point.
Oh, it's easy to say in hindsight. It had a pulse when Naz was still in limbo.
Back to Curnow quickly. If you're Carlton, what are you accepting? Assuming that he's going to Sydney, what are you taking for him?
An A grader and a first rounder.
Sydney,
Not sure if I told me your
Sydney
A
A grade. Well, are there other A graders list? There's only one. So you're saying you're only taking Warner or Goulden?
I'd have Heaney in there too.
I'm not taking Heaney for Curnow.
And a first rounder.
Oh, maybe.
So Carlton's
I
first
don't know
round.
if I want Heaney play for Carlton.
The Swans' first round at the moment will sit at pick 10. It might push out with if Draper somehow.
I want Papley.
Please don't tell me Draper's a first round compo.
I want Papley and Blakey.
Both of them.
Yep. For Curnow and something else.
They both fit a need for the Blues.
Don't they? The only problem with losing Curnow and getting Papley is that you rely on Harry. And I think that's a risk. Not saying he can't do it, because we know his best is great. But I think with everything that's gone on this year, it would be a risk to put the forward line on him.
Yeah.
But Papley helps. Papley helps a lot.
So in saying what you just said about Mackay and the risk and stuff, is there any world Carlton lets it happen?
Getting Curnow in?
Letting Curnow leave?
Yeah, if it's something ridiculous like Papley and Blakey, you have to look at it, wouldn't you?
Would you do that for your Sydney?
Geez, they really need a key forward. Curnow really helps them.
But Blakey's one of their best 5 players.
Oh, now there's a statement. Is he? He probably is.
Grundy,
Is it Grundy?
Heaney, Warner, Goulden. Is he next?
Probably.
Papley and Blakey are probably on an even.
Papley, Blakey, Rowbottom, no. Yeah, probably is.
You're big on Hayward. He's not on that level.
I did used to like Hayward.
Well, what's happened?
Softened. Whiteboard?
Yep.
Anyone to add, anyone to discuss?
So Harley's jumped off mine. I'm losing them at a rate of knots.
It's disappointing.
Um,
Did I actually say he wouldn't resign? I'm not sure I said that.
Someone will go find it. Like if someone sent me the audio of you saying that
made the
Naz,
same mistake
Naz is not a
twice.
consideration for an A grader.
Now that was, I'd put my hand up for that.
Okay. So Draper, I'm told his exit meeting's next week. So Essendon play, we're speaking Tuesday night. Essendon play this time tomorrow in the Gold Coast. He'll have his exit, I believe, next week. People at Essendon resigned to losing him.
2?
That I don't know.
It's got to be Brisbane, doesn't it?
Crows have been interested for longer. How much does that weigh into it?
Yeah, a little bit. A bit's happened since we last talked about Jamara.
Yeah.
The whole I was
think
walking out of the love machine and I was trying to get an Uber turned into I was seconds away from being shot and I went back inside the nightclub.
Yeah.
That escalated.
That vision is tangible now for clubs, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Everyone's heard stories and they can hear evidence, but seeing it is different, I reckon.
It's really hard because on the human level I really feel for him. And on the other level of it being a business, it's you couldn't give him a contract for next year.
Honestly, Jamara, dealing with him draft days and early at a time as dog, absolute pleasure to deal with. Like,
A lovely human being.
lovely kid, and you want the best for him. Unfortunately, this year's taken a turn.
So I think it's incumbent on us from a tradies perspective to talk about the machinations of what could happen here because it would seem to be, and I know we've talked about this on this pod before, but it would seem to me that there is now a realistic chance that he and the Western Bulldogs have to come to some sort of financial settlement.
That's the most likely option for me now.
In order to essentially pay him not to play. Now, when we talk about that, there's only a handful of examples that I can remember off the top of my head of which that has happened. I did a nuts and bolts on Jared Polek, who North Melbourne essentially begged to not play, but he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He ended up playing for a full year on full
Jaden
packet
Stevenson
on
actually got a payout this year to leave.
Okay, yep. Yeah,
That
good
was
one.
on his volition to leave.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. but yes, that's a good one. Kurt Tippett.
So what happened there in the end?
Digging into my memory bank, I believe that he had 1 to 2 years left on his contract at Sydney, and then his ankle got so cooked that it was very well known that he was basically not going to be able to play.
Yeah.
But he was locked into a contract.
Sorry, I thought you were meaning about his move to Sydney originally.
No,
no,
that was controversial as well. But he got paid out by Sydney not to play. But that was more of an injury thing.
Bryce Gibbs had a year on the Crows list after he was done.
Did he get kept on the list, though, technically, to pay him out? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brad Crouch was similar this year.
But he won't be kept. Jamara's not going to be kept on a list.
No.
They're just going to pay him out and essentially lose that money of the TPP.
Or do they have grounds to rip it up?
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, I was going to say that would be a cold way for the club to go, but given what has happened this year, they may.
But they would argue that they've had 12 months of.
They would argue that they have had 12 months of goodwill of paying him at full whack.
Yeah.
So, are you yes or no that Jamara ever plays an AFL game of footy again?
Oh.
No, sorry, I'm not trying to. I'll give my opinion. I think it's. I still feel deep in my heart that he's more likely to play AFL again than not. But it's a lot closer to 50-50 than it's ever been.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too far away from that.
Are you leaning no?
He's still young enough, though.
Yeah, that's right. Things like time can heal wounds.
Kicked 40-odd goals last year.
And was suffering, from a few of his issues last year. So his upside's big, but the risk factor is becoming extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Mitch, well, I'll leave Jamara up there because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm taking TDK off.
Gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So run us through the next 4 weeks on this one. So he has to wait for free agency to officially open. He's a restricted free agent, Sam, so he will lodge paperwork to move to the Saints, and the Blues will give it 8 seconds of thought and allow him to walk because they will get a pick after where they're meant to finish at the moment, which currently sits with Hawthorn.
Yeah. Which is not great.
No.
Is it?
It gives the Hawks a bit of ammunition, doesn't it?
What
For
sort
the
of
trade
ammunition?
period. Well, you mentioned on this show a few weeks ago about, you feel that they've got a big fish in the midfield space. Now that Harley's staying, how quickly do the Hawks move on to something else?
Butters. Or Track.
So Track's had his exit,
Oh.
I was told, and no talk of a trade. But I think we're all the view now. He has to wait to see who the new coach is, doesn't he?
So we don't have to go through another hostage video like last year?
No.
I am committed to the Melbourne Football Club.
It was the statement as well. It was a Saturday.
But it was the hostage video that really,
Yeah.
it shook me. Like I had to go into the fetal position.
Naz's video was a bit hostage style
Was
too.
it? I haven't seen it.
I thought the Saints would have had something better lined up.
The Saints have become quite good in that space. So I'm surprised that you're
I
saying.
think they left a bit to be desired there. Just on TDK, so the McGovern situation fascinated me. Did his hammy late in the year.
Yeah, you've been all over
He
this.
thought he was done. Then I think he realised, hey, there's another game or two hit on my trigger. There was a bit of confusion whether it was 1 or 2 because of the final he'd played the year before. Turned out he only needed 1 game. He was fit for the last 2. He was fit for the last 3, he would argue. They picked him in the VFL. Then he wasn't picked, and then he wasn't picked.
Deliberate. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I don't know the financial terms, but let's just use figures for the argument. If he had a $400,000 year 3 owing on a trigger, so 2 plus the trigger, if he had $400,000 owing, were the Blues in the right position to say, we're not going to play you, so you don't automate the trigger, and we'll come into the party with a $220,000 deal. So we might save $200,000.
It's a great question. It's a great question. I don't know I think they're within their rights to do that if they want to manipulate. I mean, that's what ruthless clubs do, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to help them make finals. And it helps them with their TPP. Why not?
Could be $200,000 to help them go after something else now that they've let DeConing go and Silvani will walk and who knows what else.
Can I ask you this question? Of the teams who have made the finals, whose list is the worst?
It's a question without notice.
Adelaide, Geelong, Brisbane, Collingwood, GWS, Fremantle, Hawthorn, Dogs. Which list is the worst?
On paper?
What else is there?
Yeah. A whiteboard? Oh, it's a great question. My first instinct,
I think we're going to be the same here.
Geelong.
Oh, no. That's a terrible call.
Their midfield's pretty skinny behind
How dare you
Holmes and
call Max
Smith.
Holmes and Bailey Smith skinny?
Atkins has had a very good year, so I think he's risen in a lot of calculations. Their backline is workmanlike.
You can't sit there for all year and claim that Holmes and Smith are A-graders. You've got Dangerfield and Cameron rolling around and Manor, who's basically an all-Australian forward, and then claim that they're the worst list in the 8.
But are we talking about top end? Like, that's the best 6.
No, well, that's why I'm asking you the question, though, because it depends on how you view lists.
What's your answer?
Because you're a depth guy.
This is a question you've thrown at me.
I know, that's why I like doing it, because it gets you flustered.
Brisbane is the best list.
I think so too. And I think they're the best list for the now and the future, by the way, of the teams in the 8.
Freo is one of the best lists for the future. They're young. They're the youngest list in the top 8.
Yeah, I think Brisbane's list for the future is better than Freo's. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I can't argue with that. Brisbane should not be missing the top 4 for the next 7 years.
Oh, boy. That feels like a Harley Reid, they're not going to pick him kind of quote.
That's not fact. That is what Brisbane should be aiming to do.
I think Collingwood have the worst list. I think Collingwood's list is the most likely of the teams in the 8 to fall off a cliff. I think you take Nick Dacos off that list, and you got big
but we
problems.
talking for the now or for the future? Because for the future, it's clearly the worst list. But for the now, you said best list in the top 8.
Yeah.
It's pretty good this year.
It's not very good next year, though.
I'm talking about this year, though.
Yeah, but that's why, like, lists are always evolving. That's why it's an interesting question. I just wanted to get a sense from you of the teams in the 8, which list didn't you like? Which list do you like the least? That was the question. And your answer was Geelong, and it's opinion. That's fine. My answer is Collingwood. Just as our listeners are going for their walk or their drive or however they take in tradies.
Where does Hawthorn rank in your thinking?
I'm not enamoured with Hawthorn's list, but what I do think it has is I think it has the options to add a little bit of A-grade talent and then suddenly lift it.
Yeah.
Like Barris has really helped. Battle has really helped them. Barris has helped them.
Yeah.
Ginnivan has helped them. D'Ambrosio has helped them. Like I think I went through this, didn't I? Like a few months ago. They've got a great record of getting players into the club that make the team better. I think, as I've said on this show, think they end up with Butters or Petrarca. And I think a player like
this year.
that, well, probably. And I think a player like that.
Why are you not giving up on Butters?
Really lifts them. Why have you given up on Butters?
Because he's contracted. They've got a new coach coming in.
Contracts have. Well, that's it. He's contracted. That's it.
It does mean.
That's it.
Come on, David, let's get in the car. When he's a free agent next year, why would they let him go for 2 top 10 picks this year?
Well, because if someone wants to go, Mitch, and they're coming and starting with a new coach, why would you want it hanging over your head for a whole year? Have we not learnt anything from Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver? Is it? Why is it
He's
different?
out of contract next year. Those guys have 5 years owing.
I think if a guy wants out now and you've got an opportunity to cash in.
But like I said, I don't think Butters
Hawthorn would give their left arm for him.
Butters is not the guy that's going to walk in January next year and be a menace to deal with.
We didn't think Petrarca would be either.
No, but I never said that. But I'm just saying, like, I think Zach's the sort of guy that would buy in. But before we get off Butters, so Caro reported last night on the agenda setters that Hawthorn are among the clubs who have reached out to Ken Hinkley.
I did see that.
Which surprised me after the hoo-ha of last year. Plain, Guinea, 20K, you know the rest. And we spoke about this earlier in the year. Our club's thinking ahead to the Butters move to try and get Ken in and thinking it might help them in the Butters pursuit. So if you're Hawthorn, and you've been big on the whole Butters-Hawthorn thing, is Ken just another stepping stone to Butters?
I can't believe what I'm hearing here. I just had 3 minutes of you rinsing me for suggesting that why aren't you giving up on Butters?
No, I'm talking about 12 months' time.
And the team that I'm saying is potentially getting Ken.
No, 12 months' time. Butters in end of 26.
But why wouldn't it be, if they got him this year, why wouldn't they go after him this year?
Go after him. I'm just saying Port would be silly to let him go.
I think chance. I should take Oscar Allen off my whiteboard as well.
But what do you're not big on the whole Ken Butters double?
I don't think he ends up at Hawthorn.
Nah. But I like the thinking maybe outside the square.
Should we take Warple off?
I reckon he's done.
He's been done for so long. Why are we doing this again? Ben King, I still think a watch. Ben King's my left field watch going into trade period.
Okay. So what's merit?
I just don't think Essendon deal him. I think it's a bit hard now. I think they should, but I don't think they will. Now, secondary question without notice. Of the teams not in the 8, which list do you like the most? So, from 9th onwards, and granted, we expect Gold Coast to beat Essendon. Goodness gracious me if they don't. Gold Coast, Sydney, Carlton, St Kilda, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Essendon, North, Richmond. Which list of those do you like the most?
West Coast as well. You forgot them.
Did I not say West Coast? Sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough. No.
We've even woken Diva up. What?
I am being absolutely legitimate. I actually didn't scroll down. I just had my phone and it was at the bottom. I forgot about West Coast. That was not... that's going to come out wrong.
Look, I'd say on paper, Carlton.
Really?
Because I don't think Sydney's key position stocks right now, and we spoke about this at the start of the year.
Good point.
Love their mids. Goulden.
I love Sydney's top end, yeah.
Yeah. But who are their next best 2 key position players?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Tom McCartan, fullback. Rampy's still, along with Jeremy Howe, Rampy could be the most important 34, 35-year-old in the comp. Max Gawn probably in that conversation as well.
I think my answer is Gold Coast, but I'm going to remove them because I think they'll play finals.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Dogs in the top.
No, because we mentioned Dogs in the 8, but really it's a top 9, bottom 9 discussion. So let's remove the Gold Coast. Which team's list do I like the most? It's definitely not West Coast.
I think you've made that clear. I'd like to think you've made North pretty clear over the journey.
Richmond's a bit hard because of everything that's happened. So I'm putting an asterisk next to Richmond.
You're about to run the censure count over Essendon.
It's definitely not North. Essendon don't have any good players. It's not Melbourne, but I think Melbourne's not far away though. It's not Port. I don't think it's the Saints. I feel like it's Carlton or Melbourne.
Not Sydney?
I don't think it's Sydney, for your point about the key positions. I think Melbourne under a new coach will bounce a lot quicker than other people think.
Yep. They did have 93% this year, and a lot of clubs talk about the importance of percentage when ranking a season in totality.
Like, Harvey Langford is a genuine star.
Yep.
Is that fair?
Love him. Imagine him with a full pre-season. Rivers, they put Rivers back into the midfield, which we saw at the end of last year, and they did it again.
So, Rivers, Pickett, Langford, Bowie, McVee.
McVee's on the whiteboard for a reason.
There's 5. And then you put asterisks next to... Oh, and Chandler. There's 6. I like Chandler. Asterisk next to Sparrow, not sure. Asterisk next to JVR, not sure.
Yeah. You got Windsor?
Windsor's 7. Didn't have Windsor, so I'm just looking through a team that played earlier in the year. And Howes is 8.
Nothing against Blake, personally. He's on the fringe for me.
Oh, I like Howes. Interesting.
Good size.
Interesting that you've got something against those sort of guys.
What?
I think... I worry about Carlton, but I think their top end list is really good. I think it's Melbourne or Carlton, and I'm sticking with Melbourne. So mine outside the 9 is Melbourne, and yours is, I'm writing this down, outside 9, Mine's Melbourne. Sam, what's yours?
Outside the 9 is Sydney. No, what did I say?
Sydney. No, you said Carlton.
Carlton.
And inside,
Jeez, the late night records getting to me.
and inside your worst team is Geelong, which is just outrageous. And mine's Collingwood.
We're talking about 2025, yeah, not 2026.
It's not talking about anything. I'm just saying what's the best and worst lists.
Okay.
We're looking forward.
I think Collingwood's in a very good position this year. Next year, not so much.
Okay, you know what it's time for? It's time for the Lexus of Blackburn Tradies Tease. Been doing this for a few weeks now, and I'm told, Mitchell, that it's going gangbusters on socials. Not that I've seen any of it.
Far off the mark.
Okay. So, I'm quite happy with this one. You know how you have been leading the charge on, we talked about on this episode, Mitch McGovern not being played because of a contractual clause which would give him an extra year.
I thought you were talking about partners being crucial to trades and how clubs go after the partners as importantly
I know
as
you love that.
brothers.
Word has reached my desk that there has been another one of these situations going on for the last little while, and that it has caused a bit of a rift between player and club as to why he's not getting a game. And yet, I think you may find that said player may actually get a game now before the end of the year. That's all I'll say.
So they're in the finals.
That's all I'll say.
They're in the finals.
Can't say too much more.
Okay.
Has a contractual clause in the club not wanting to trigger another year of a contract been at the root of a player's non-selection?
Why are you not naming him?
Because I don't want to. And I just wonder, when the teams drop on Thursday night,
For the first week of finals.
is there a certain in which will make people go, that must have been the Tradies Tease.
Okay.
Okay.
Look forward to teams next week.
Hey, Tradies, I'm really sorry about the late drop, 12 hours late. The US Open's sort of done me time-wise. Hopefully back in order. As long as Todd Woodbridge is back in town next week, we're fine.
Where's Todd?
Todd's over being a game show host.
Okay.
Friday week,
Yes.
first week of finals.
Oh, the brewery for a final.
Are you be working? No.
No.
So you'll be going to the Cats game?
Potentially as a punter.
Right. Potentially a pint at the brewery
Potentially.
before the game. And the previous night, will you be in Adelaide?
Yes.
I will also be in Adelaide.
Ooh.
Also working.
On assignment.
On assignment
For AW or the Age?
for the Age.
Okay. Usually takes something of significance to get you there, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings. Did you ever interview Rory McIlroy, by the way?
Anyway, it's been a great episode of Tradies. Brought to you by the great people at St Andrews Brewery.
Hey, the Wednesday night game you've been shit canning for a while. It's got a bit of sizzle now.
Sorry, the Wednesday night. You have to remind me. Which Wednesday night game?
Gold Coast Essendon.
Oh, is Seven doing it?
Yes.
You are doing it now.
I'm heading up.
I thought you didn't do those sort of games. You are doing Wednesday. So, because you didn't do last Thursday, I'm just trying to get my head around.
Didn't mean anything, but this means
Right,
something.
okay. You only do games that matter. Right,
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
The Fox do all the games, but you do the games that matter. Okay.
They don't do all the games, no.
Well, they do all the games.
Grand final.
Oh, the grand final in the middle of the day that could have a million more people watching. Anyway, we got to stop the pod before we blow up. Make sure you're listening to Air Raid Siren, particularly special episode this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Normal time.